Hello and welcome back to the channel. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Let's take a look at Bitcoin because really the last price movement has invalidated the 1-2 setup I was looking for yesterday, and it is not any clearer. Let me explain. Initially, yesterday, we were looking at this level here on the 3rd of November at 4 p.m. in Europe as being the low of this WXY correction. Followed a series of 5 impulsive moves to the upside that was interpreted as a leading diagonal. And I was saying when price was right here, if that's the beginning of a 1-2 setup and the one being a leading diagonal, then we should look for a deeper pullback for a wave 2 to form without breaking this low here. Yeah. What happened? For sure, the low was broken. Not once, but twice. There are some good signs and good news about this low being broken, or should I say the way it was broken. Yeah. I'm going to dive into that in a bit, so stay tuned. The counts. The Elliott wave count is not clear at all because the WXY I had initially anticipated yesterday, and I think that's the right term, anticipated. This is usually what tricks everyone, myself included, is this never-ending desire to anticipate things and not giving them time enough to play out. So, but we seem not to learn from our mistake, do we? So yesterday I had this, yeah, WXY, you had a move down, you have 3 up for the wave X, and then you had another corrective move down for the Y wave. This entire WXY has actually 7 swings, and that's why I anticipated. I looked at the correction, I said it's not a flat, it's not a zigzag, it's a combination of corrective structure, and I'm going to label it WXY. It was good until we broke the low. But so WXY is out the window. Yeah, so we will let the price evolve before making any other assumption about the nature of the correction. What is certain is that we are in the corrective structure. We are correcting this run-up who has 5 waves to the upside and is potentially labeled as a wave 1. Yeah, and so now we are in the process of making a wave 2. But I want to take a quick look at the good news. The good news is the following. It's twofold or threefold. Number one is how this low was broken, this 67,478. It was broken once, but closed back above. It was broken twice, closed below. It was tested, failed, closed beneath, and made a new low. So we have 3 consecutive new lows that could have indicated back then on this candle that we were going to go much further down. But if you pay attention to the volume, you could see a spike of volume here. Yeah. You will tell me, yeah, but there was a spike of volume just before also on the way we broke the level. I said, true, yeah. Spike of volume in and of itself is not a sufficient indicator, but it's a sign, yeah? So right after this third new low was made, we went back above the original level. And we went to test down that level. And then we made a new high compared to this high. So on the very micro structure, we have penetration of a low failed. Second penetration succeed, third penetration succeed, make a new low, get back inside, test again, and make a new high. So this part here, this 7, 8, 9 candles is indicative of a bottom being in place. Yeah. Or should I say the odds of a bottom being in place are quite high when you see something like that happening with the previous level. Now look at the RSI. RSI 1 low, 2 low, 3 low, 1 divergence, 2 divergences. So we have 3 higher lows on the RSI. We have 2 bullish divergence altogether. That's a second indication. The third indication is the one that I favor the most as being the most reliable, and you can see it on the futures charts, but more specifically on the aggregated spot tape. This is a representation of the trade delta, so the difference between selling and buying on the spot market for Binance, Coinbase, Bybit, and OKX. Look at the composition of the delta tape, spot tape, for the part where we formed the low. Yeah, nice price was making 3 consecutive new lows. The delta is positive most of the time. And it's not only one histogram 1 hour candle that is positive, but it's a series of 1 hour candle, one after the other. Compare that to this section here on the run up. So here it was clear, 5-wave move to the upside, but look at the delta. Was there any strong buying absorption of the coins on the spot market? Not really. You have positive delta, that's true, but it's not as thick and sustained for many candles in a row as it is when we made those third consecutive low. So that tells me there is absorption or accumulation of coins. The coins are being purchased as the price is making new lows. More interestingly, and that's very subjective, but it's worth highlighting, is this part here. Look at that. When we made this last and final low, the delta for 3 hours was negative, selling. There was selling for 3 hours in a row. And surprisingly, that 3 hours correspond to those 2 candles here where we broke and closed below the level. We broke and closed below the level a second time. So that was an indication probably retail got trapped in thinking that since we managed to defend this level once, twice, but then third time and fourth time we fail, we probably get much lower. Well, turns out price did not, it reversed. So these 3 together, the price action, the RSI, and the spot tape tells me that there is a low formed, there is a bottom formed after this move down, at least locally, temporarily. I'm not saying we go shoot back up right away, but that's a technical indication and an observation that gives me confidence in considering this to be the actual low. Yeah. Now, what next? Well, a few things need to happen first. If you do look at this, you have what looks like a creek. Yeah. Price will need to get above this creek. It's a very subjective line, but you get the idea to confirm that we are going to march back up. But I don't think we're going to go march back up in a 5-wave pattern to make a new high first. I would not be surprised if we make a 3-wave up as a corrective move to form the B leg of this ABC. Yeah, that's potentially indicative of B leg formed and then C down. Yeah. But this creek here is not insignificant. I was looking for the term because if you switch on the technicals, this creek that is being formed is gently pushing the price beneath this descending trend line that has been capping the price since mid-March. Okay. Getting above this creek and therefore this trend line with some volume would be a good indication that we have indeed formed a low. And more specifically, if we get to break the most recent swing high prior to the new low at 69,500. Okay. Now we can start to draw some resistance level to the upside. At least let's be realistic and let's take this swing high and this swing low, and let's look at the resistance. So you can see that the price here went very shy of the 50% retracement. Usually for a corrective move back up, you want price to pierce through 5061.8. Yeah, that's more often than not what is happening. So resistance, overhead resistance in the very short term, 70,900, give or take, and 69,200. Yeah. For the bullish scenario, this motive impulsive wave, nothing has been invalidated because we have not made a new low compared to 65,600. So that is still good, even though the correction is making I think that's really what is annoying here. It's not that much the price action, is the fact that the bullish sentiment has returned as we broke through this descending trend line, to only see price go back below the trend line a few days later. And I think a lot of people are getting impatient. That's probably a good sign, depending on which side of the market you're playing. Look at the RSI also on the 1 hour. This creek is being respected for the RSI, but is making a series of bearish divergence. This one is not confirmed. We have RSI getting higher than the previous swing high, whereas price is failing to make a new high. So we want to watch out for this. That potentially indicates some more downside. But if that's the bottom locally, then that should be a 1 of whatever degree. And then we should expect a 2 down, similarly to what we had yesterday. The thing to watch for is if we make a new low compared to that, then you would confirm a broadening, a descending broadening wedge. This one is a tongue twister. Descending broadening wedge pattern, and you would expect price to make a new low, but not by much, and you would tap into this inefficiency here. Careful though, because I think if we make a new low compared to 66,831, it's not going to be too far away that price might invalidate this minute motive impulsive wave. Yeah, so we are very close to the invalidation level if we make a new low. Doesn't mean that we're going to break it as well, but the closer we come to it, the likelier we are to go break it. Yeah. So that's it for the video. Thanks a lot for listening till the end. You take care of yourself. Don't stress too much about the price action. The bigger picture is still bullish. I think it requires a bit more. We have to be patient and keep in mind that, of course, I did not even mention it before. Election in the US. Yeah, so probably keep on wiggling around for the price for the next, what is it, a day and a half or so until we get the result. I would be surprised. What do we have on the economic calendar today? Is there anything? Presidential election, Tuesday, November 5th. I thought the results were meant to be known on Wednesday. Okay. ISM service, well, not really significant. Fed interest rate decision. Okay, so, this week is going to be thick. We might have actually some big volatility coming in the market with the presidential election result in the US, but also the interest rate decision by the Federal Reserve. I think that the forecast is 0.25% interest rate to be cut by a quarter of a point. We might have a volatile week ahead of us. The next few days might be tricky. Okay, so don't try to sweat it too much. Always plan ahead how much you are willing to lose in the markets. Know your risk management, and you'll be good to go. Okay, that's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks a lot for watching till the end. Leave me a comment, put a thumbs up, and subscribe to the channel, and I will speak to you very soon. Bye-bye.